There was a video that went up on my channel, and it was about Elena at Capcom Cup. The point of it was kind of like talking about patches and then talking about the separate thing. Like, imagine if someone told you, like, the last TWT, it was ruined by Leroy. Leroy was everywhere. It was so bad, right? If you didn't know that Leroy was nerfed or whatever, or if Leroy was still good at the time and you didn't watch the tournament, you might believe that. You know what I mean? You might be like, yeah, maybe Leroy did smoke everybody at some tournament. All right. But the point is, like, that didn't actually happen. A lot of times when people say things like that, maybe they misremember or somebody told them that and then it's not actually the truth. Anyway, that was the point of the video. Boy, I didn't realize that talking about Street Fighter 4 was going to make so many people so angry. When I recall Street Fighter 4, what I remember is in the last like year of the game, I remember watching the footage and being like, dude, this game is sick. There's like so much high level footage. The game is really fun. I kind of forgot that near the end of Street Fighter 4, it was just people so mad about the game. It was like Sleep Fighter 4 and like Ultra Ruined Street Fighter 4. All the characters are the worst thing ever. Elena's hurtbox is so bad, and like I hate DiCapri and like this character and that character, and everybody was like, this game fucking sucks. I can't wait to play Street Fighter 5. I can't wait. And then Street Fighter 5 comes out and I'm like, okay, this is fun. I like Street Fighter 5. And everybody's like, no, we have to go back to Street Fighter 4. And I remember just being like, you all hated this like 4 months ago. And now that Street Fighter 5 has been out for so long, when you talk about Street Fighter 4, it's just like, yeah, Street Fighter 4 is kind of cool, but Elena this and that and that. It like boils down very quickly to people just saying things like, Elena ruined Capcom Cup. When you bring up this old thing, they just say that old sentence. It's like they've got like a predetermined sentence to say about the game to like talk shit about it. In the same way that like when you talk about some modern game like Street Fighter 5, they're like, yeah, Street Fighter 5 is okay, but V-Trigger comebacks ruin it. Or some like blanket thing that you're like, yeah, V-Trigger was good for a while and it's still pretty good, but it's like not really that big of a deal most of the time. Like V-Triggers they're cool now. They've changed a lot and it's like been some time since then. And I always forget that. I'm like, oh yeah, can't talk about these games without someone doing this. What I think about it as is it's the top Reddit comment phenomenon. Have you ever like read a Reddit title and then you know what the top comment's gonna be? Like it's gonna be the same joke or same phrase or same stupid response to this topic or thing that always comes up. You read a thing about some guy being a Skyrim guard and you know like the top comment's gonna be like, he doesn't look too bad for someone who took an arrow to the knee. Or like, man, Skyrim released in real life. It came out again this year. Like it's like a joke about how Skyrim's out on every console available to all time. If you bring up Street Fighter 4, their brain goes like, Street Fighter 4, what's my top Reddit comment? Ah, yeah, Elena this. Street Fighter 5, what's my top Reddit comment? Like, ah, V-Trigger this. And then if you poke them, that's the end, right? It's like a balloon. It's like it pops. You're just like, oh, but they changed V-Triggers a long time ago. The game's really fun. Have you played it recently? They're like, no, I don't play it anymore, really. I'm sort of more of a Minesweeper fan these days. Is the netcode still bad? You're like, oh, yeah, got me there, I suppose. They're like slithering. They're trying to find a path away, right? Like they're like, how do I find something else to say? Or like, you're like, oh yeah, Elena, she's pretty good, but like there's a lot of really good sets. Did you watch the like Topanga finals? And they're like, I don't remember Topanga that year. Who was it? Sako Bon-chan-son in the finals? Who was it? You're like, yeah, all right, for sure. Instead of just being like, yeah, actually, Capcom Cup was really fun to watch that year. There was a lot of cool sets. Like, that was the year that Mise made it really far. And there was a lot of characters and this and that. And, like, it was funny to watch the finals after all those matches where Kazunogo just beat the shit out of Daigo. Instead of, like, a real discussion about what happened. It's just like, Elena. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because I think, like, it's maybe not obvious from that footage, but yeah, Evil Ryu is one of the best characters in the game. Yun and Evil Ryu are both incredibly strong. I think like the most important thing about this is you have to identify top Reddit comments in life. And when you do see them or hear them, you have two ways to engage with it. You can either nod and move on, knowing that this is a very surface level take, I don't have to engage with it, or you can like poke them and see if there's something beyond that, or if that's the only thing that they know about it. It's such a common thing, particularly in our genre, because there's a lot of people who are invested in the same space as you, who like don't have a full understanding of the thing that you're doing. If you're playing Street Fighter and you're a Street Fighter player, you probably don't know all of the things happening with Guilty Gear or Tekken. Nobody knows everything about all the games all the time. It's the best way I've ever heard to call all of us stupid. Don't top Reddit comment my thing. I'm not calling anybody stupid. It's more like, it's very easy. Instead of like thinking about and engaging with whatever's happening, your brain will categorize it and be like, Street Fighter 4, what's my Street Fighter 4 opinion? And it scrolls through and it finds the folder and it looks inside and it's like, okay, what's in the Street Fighter 4 folder? Let me look. Elena. Yeah, Elena was just a problem. You know, I don't think that there was anything controversial in the video or anything, but it's a good reminder of it. A lot of people were like, man, even just you watching and joking about Capcom Cup this year, it makes me want to rewatch like some Street Fighter 4 footage. You should watch them, because I think modern day analysis on Street Fighter 4 sets is like really nice, actually. That's something that I think is the most fun thing to do about fighting games. Going back to watch old matches with a new understanding of fighting games is like really fun, especially because a lot of older games, like if match analysis is something you're looking for, finding old versions of it is really uncommon, right? Not a lot of people do it. I think the jump off is so sick, but wouldn't the jump off be way more sick if it was just me strapped to the Evo chair for 12 hours drawing on the screen by myself and just getting more and more dehydrated, hungry, and delusional? There's something about that sounds way funnier to me. Like, just imagine I have the ability to jump between everything and I'm just like on hour 9.5 and I'm like, beam me up, Scotty, put me in Uni. And we just like, I start drawing clouds on the match and stuff, you know. Hanzo says okay. I'm down.